So the attractive potential and the repulsive potential are also defined exactly as in the lecture. So these are the attractive potential and these are the repulsive potential. So the attractive potential is available everywhere in the field. And the repulsive potential is only active when the vehicle is located within the obstacle. So that's the meaning of this part. When the vehicle is outside the obstacle, then the repulsive potential is deactive, is zero. Inside the obstacle, the repulsive potential is defined as in this equation. So in this equation, the Ka is just a constant, the Kr is a constant, the rho zero is also a constant, the radius of the obstacle. So the rho A is defined by the distance between your vehicle and the destination. And this rho R is defined by the distance between your vehicle and the center of the obstacle. So there are two parts. So the part A is asking you to derive the equation for the force. So this part, the part A, is just exactly the same as our lecture. You know, in our lecture, we derive the repulsive force, we derive the attractive force, and you are also required to make derivation in the first assignment. So I don't think anyone will have any problem for this 12 marks. So if you cannot get this total 12 marks, I think it's definitely your own problem. Because we already followed the mathematics, and you already tried this in the first assignment, and you got the plenty time to ask if you got any questions about the simple derivation. So if you have still got problems in this part, you should really ask yourself the reasons. So for the derivation in this mathematics, I just highlight the essential equations. So you know the essential equations to link the potential to the force, because the potential is a conservative potential. So you learn this in your dynamics course. So the force, you know the force, the x and the xy, the force are actually defined by the minus derivative of the potential in terms of the coordinate. So like this. So for example, the fxa is defined by this dua dx. So you can use the notation to make your derivation. But in this case, you are required to derive the force, and the location of xy is not known, is unknown. So actually, you are required to divide the situation into two situations. So the first situation is when the vehicle is outside the obstacle. So you know there are two situations. There are two situations. For the first situation, so the first situation is when the vehicle is outside the obstacle. The first case is for the vehicle is outside the obstacle. So in this case, only the attractive force will be activated. So in this case, you need to evaluate the Fx. So actually, this Fx equal to Fxa because you only got the attractive force. So this one is just given by this minus d UA dx. So your UA is defined by this part. So this part is UA. So the Ka is a constant, and the rho A is defined by this one. So it depends on this rho A, depends on x and y. And when you evaluate the rho A, the derivative of rho A in terms of x, the second part will become 0. So it's just given by is minus Ka x minus the coordinate of the destination. So this part is very simple. So also for the Fy, you just do the same thing. You will got a minus Ka y minus 5. So this is the first scenario. So for the second scenario, is the vehicle. If the vehicle is located inside the repulsive domain. So you know in this case the force is given by the attractive force plus the repulsive force. So the attractive force will be the same. The attractive force will be the same as here, but you need to derive the repulsive force. So the repulsive force is given by minus dUr dx. So the UR is defined at here. So these are the UR. So you do this mathematics as you did in your first assignment. You will got the solution is the KR x minus x0 divided by rho r cube multiplied by 1 minus rho r minus 1 over rho 0. So make sure you know how to derive these equations. It's not complicated. So similarly, you got your FYR, but here from the Fx So the fx is given by there are two parts. So the first part is minus this Ka x minus 5 plus the second part. The second part just add here. So similarly, you can derive your yr. It's just the same format. The same format, and here is a kr y minus 3 divided by rho r cubed 1 over rho r minus 1 over rho 0. So also your fy is given by the fya plus fyr. So I think nothing new at here because you already did exactly the same derivation in your first assignment. So if you cannot do this, I don't think your assignment you did it by yourself. So this is the first part of the question. So there are 12 marks from this simple derivation. For the second part, for the part B, for the part B, then the Ka, the Kr, and the rho 0 are defined. And now you got two locations, you got two positions, and you are required to calculate the force at these two particular positions. So to calculate the force, you can just use the equations you derived at here. But at here, you know you got the case 1, you got the case 2. So you got the two locations. So you need to check whether the vehicle is inside the repulsive domain or outside the repulsive domain. So you know which equations to follow. So these are the only trick that are required at here. So you know here we got the rho 0 equal to 2. So the rho 0 this radius are equal to 2. So the first point is a 1, 1. So the 1, 1, if you plot this one, you will know this point is actually outside the obstacle. So for the vehicle to be outside the obstacle, you know you only need to evaluate this equation because the repulsive force is not active. So for the second point, if you plot this one, you know the point will be at here, from the same x coordinate and the y coordinate equal to 2. So it will be inside the repulsive domain. So when the vehicle is inside the repulsive domain, so you know you are required to use these equations to calculate. So for the simple mathematics, you can test the distance. So you can either show this idea by this plot, or you may test the distance between the vehicle and the center of the obstacle. So you know the distance defined by this rho r. So this rho r is the distance between your vehicle and the center of the obstacle. So for the first point, this one equal to 1, 1. So you can test this rho r. This rho r is given by, so this 1 minus 3 square plus 1 minus 3 square. So 1 minus 3 square plus 1 minus 3 square. So you know this equal to the square root of 8. So this one is greater than rho 0. So you know your rho 0 equal to 2. So this one is greater than u0. That means your vehicle is outside the obstacle. So when the vehicle is outside the obstacle, you know the fx. The fx is just given by this fxa. So you can evaluate this equation is minus ka is minus ka x minus 5. So in this case, your ka equal to 1 and your x equal to 1. So this equal to 4. So for the fy is given by this fya. So it's minus ka y minus 5. So this one equal to 1, this one equal to 1. So this equal to 4. So in this question, you are required to calculate the force. So far we already calculated the force fx and y and fy, and you also required to plot the vector at the point. So you know the force, the vector, you got the directions. And now you already have the components for x and y. So to plot it, it's just you can plot a vector. Plot a vector like here. So these are supposed to be 4, these are supposed to be 4. So these are the x direction, these are the y direction. So secondly, when you have this xy equal to 3, 2, you can evaluate the distance. The distance, this rho r is given by this 3 minus the x0 is 3 square plus this 2 minus 3 square. So you know this are equal to, this are 0, this is equal to 1. So it's smaller than rho 0. So the vehicle is inside the repulsive domain. So inside the repulsive domain, so you know the fx is given by fxa plus fxr. So if you do this, you know this one equal to 2. So fy equal to fya plus fyr. You do this, you know this one equal to minus 22. So to plot it is also quite straightforward. So you know you got a vector like this. So these are given by 2, these are given by minus 22. So these are x, these are y. So these are the second question. So second question is based on the first assignment. So the first part, the part A, is completely from the lecture and from your assignment. So the part B is just the application of the equations. So if you fully understand the equation, and the cases, the scenarios that here, so you should have no problems to calculate this, to calculate the vector and also plot it. So the third question is also very simple. So it's just a simple minimization problem. So you know in this problem, you got this 1D path planning problem. You know in our 1D path planning problem, we got two components in the state vector. So for example, the first one corresponding to the position, and the second one corresponding to the velocity. You remember our example. And in the example, we discretize the motion equation, and eventually we arrive at a differential equation like this. So now in this question, it's a 1D path planning problem, and the differential equation is given. Differential equation is given. So the initial condition is given. The initial condition is also given, and the cost function is defined like here. So this cost function, you know, in this cost function we got k equal to 1 up to 3. So this one actually given by, so k equal to 1 is given by x1 1 minus 4 square plus for k equal to 2 given by x1 2 minus 4 square plus this x1 k equal to 3 minus 4 square. So if you write the cost equation, the cost function in this format, so it's easier to understand. So now we know the cost function depends on x11, x12, and x13. And here we got the update equation. So by using this update equation, you remember in the pendulum example, from this iterative update equation, we can change it to an equation just depends on the initial condition and all the input. So in that case, the initial conditions are given. So eventually, this cost function will only depend on the control input. So these are the idea, so that you can solve the control input. So to tackle this problem, to tackle this question, then the first step is to change the x11, x12, x13 to make it depends on the control input and the initial condition, to formulate this cost function in the proper format. So for part A, so to do that is also quite straightforward. You know, for k equal to 0, you can use the update equation. So the x1, 1, for k equal to 0, you can get the x1, k equal to 0, this is x1, 1. x1, 1 equal to 1 multiplied by x1, 0 plus 1 multiplied by x2, 0 plus 0 multiplied by u0. So this is given by x1, 0 plus x2, 0. So the x1, 0 equal to 0, x2 equal to 0, x2, 0 equal to 0. So you know this one is equal to 0. So for the x21 equal to 0 multiplied by x1, 0 plus 1 multiplied by x2, 0 plus 1 multiplied by u0. So this is x2, 0 plus u0. So the x2, 0 are just 0. So this becomes u0. It's u0. So we do the same thing. We do exactly the same procedure. We can change all the state. We can change all the state depends on the initial condition and all the control input. So similarly, you can do the k equal to 1. So that will give you x12 and x22. So you do this, you know this one will be u0, this one will be u0 plus u1. For k equal to 2, you got the x1, 3 and x2, 3. So the x1, 3 equal to 2u0 plus u1 is equal to u0 plus u1 plus u2. So now you can substitute the x1k into the cost function. So we may substitute all this into the cost function. So the cost function is given by x11 minus 4 square plus x12 minus 4 square plus x13 minus 4 square. So it's just given by, so the x11 equal to 0. So it's minus 4 square plus x12 equal to just u0. I just write the u0 in this form, so it's easier to represent. So u0 minus 4 square plus, so x13 x13 equal to 2u0 plus u1 minus 4 square. So now we have the cost function in the proper format. So now the cost function only depends on the control input. So we change this cost function into the standard, our standard unconstrained optimization problem. Our unconstrained optimization problem. The standard definition is to minimize the cost function of u by using this u. So now we have the same. We have exactly the same form. So this u is given by this u0, u1, and u2. So we use the update equation in order to change the cost function into the standard format. So once we have the standard format, so the solution to this one will be quite straightforward. So the solution the solution to the unconstrained optimization problem is just given by this dj du equal to 0. These are the necessary conditions to tackle this problem. And in this case, you only need to do the dj du0 equal to 0 and dj du1 equal to 0. Because the function only depends on u0 and u1. So actually we are not using this u2. So if you try this, it's quite simple equations. These are quite simple equations. So you do the dj du0 and you calculate the dj du1. Eventually you will get the u0 star equal to 4 and u1 star equal to minus 4. So actually, you can also get the solution by intuitively checking this equation. So you know in this equation we got 3 items. So each item is a square. So we know the square will be greater or equal to 0. For this one, it's just a constant. So for this one, the minimizing point will be given by this u0 equal to 4. So that's why we have this u0 star equal to 4. So once you have this u0 star equal to 4, you can calculate this u1. So this u1 will be given by minus 4. So it's the same solution by checking the necessary conditions. So by checking the necessary condition, you calculate the derivative. You make two equations, two unknowns of u0 and u1. You will get the same solution. So the second part, the part B is if there is a constraint on the control input, if there are the actuator constraint asks you to determine the control input. So it's actually, this question become a constraint problem with inequality constraint. So you may either follow the inequality constraint to solve the problem. You can use the Hamiltonian to change this one to the standard format of the constraints. So you got two constraints. So you may construct the Hamiltonian by using two Lagrange multipliers to augment your cost function. So eventually you can check all the conditions, you will get the solution. So on the other hand, you can also determine the solution by the intuitive check. So in this equation, you know this part is just a constant. It cannot be minimized. And actually, we only got two paths to minimize. And both paths and both items are the square. So for the square item, you know the equation. If you plot one of the item, for example, if you plot this u0 minus 4 square, it will be something like this. If you plot this u0 minus 4 square in terms of u0, and this minimizing point is given by this 4. 4 corresponding to 0. But we have the activator constraint. So activator constraint is actually at here. Require the U0 is between -2 and 2. So in this case, we know the minimizing point is actually given by this point. So from this observation, you know our U0 star is given by 2. Because the U0 star equal to 2 will minimize this function. So next, you may check what happens to the U1 star. So the U1 star, you may just check this equation for the U0 star equal to 2. So if this one equal to 2, this one equal to 4. So 4 minus 4 will be 0. So if these are 0, so you know when the U1 star equal to 0, this one become 0. So the 0 is the global minimizing point for this function. So in this case, you know the U1 star is given by 0. Okay, so this is the solution to the part B. So these are 4 marks at game. So finally, this fourth question, this question 4, is on the dynamic programming. So this question is quite similar to the example that we went through in the last lecture. So we only change the numbers, and the procedure, also the question, all the other parts are the same. We got the update equation, we got the activator constraint, and we got this function to be optimized. So I will not give you the full details, so you may refer to the lecture notes in the last lecture. So essentially, to use the dynamic programming, so the equations are given here. So these are the equations for the dynamic programming. So you start from the final state. The final state Jn. So in this case, the n equal to 2. So in this case, you know the n equal to 2. And after this, you do this backwards. So you equal the G1. This for k equal to 1. So for n equal to 2, you get this J2 as given by this x1 k equal to 2 minus 2 square. So it's just given by this k equal to 2. So x1 2 minus 1 square. So next you can do this for k equal to n minus 1, so n minus 1 equal to 1. So for k equal to 1, you have this J1. You want to minimize the function. So the first part given by this x1 minus 1 square plus the equation from here. So J2 x1 2. So this part is just the same as here. So we're trying to use the results from the last step, so we can do the optimization iteration by iteration and backwards. So if you try this, I will not give you the details. You can follow the lecture notes. So if you do this, it's given by x1, 1 minus 1 square plus minimize in terms of the control policy mu1 with a plus a quarter u0 minus 1 square. So the A is just given by the initial condition. So the A is given by the x2, 0. So here you know that A is given in the initial condition and the Y is just constant, so that you can determine the U0. So from this simple equation, you know the U0 star is given by 1 multiplied by 1 minus A. So this is the U0 star, but there are the conditions. Because we have the constraint, on the U0. Remember, we have our U0 between minus 4 and 4. Remember our condition. So that means if for the first situation, if this 4 multiplied by 1 minus A is between minus 4 and 4. So it's between minus 4 and 4. So we have this U0 star equal to 4, 1 minus A. So if this global minimizing point is located inside the activator constraint, then our function can take the global minimizing point. So the situation is like this. So you know here we got a quadrature function, and here is a 4, 1 minus A. So now it's between. So now this one is between minus 4 and 4. So you can take this point. So for this equation, you can make some further derivation. So that means this A is between 0 and 2. For the second situation, if the global minimizing point 4, 1 minus A is greater than 4, this becomes the scenario like this. So you got your 4, 1 minus A, so it's greater than 4. So the valid range for the input in here. So we know in this case, this U0 star will be equal to 4. And from this one, you can derive, it means that A is smaller than 0. So finally, if we have this 4, 1 minus A is smaller than minus 4, so we have this U0 star equal to minus 4. So you can make a derivation for this one equivalent to A is greater than 2. So by summarize these three scenarios, we know the optimal control policy is given by this mu1. So these are three scenarios. The first one given by 4, 1 minus A. So this if this A is between 0 and 2 and equal to 4, equal to plus 4 if the A is smaller than 0 and minus 4 if this A is greater than 2. Okay, so these are the solutions to the past year paper. I will suggest you to review the materials and do all the past papers by yourself. So I will expect you to ask me questions in the revision week. Okay, so I will see you in the revision week.
Maybe that's why I said ready.